skill up of the employees. But what I'm saying that this is not very this is not very much required at the organization. Now organization moving towards the neuroscience based training, that is something which we can say that this is sustainable change, and these are the core rewiring of any employee behavioral patterns so that he can change. And that's where NLP comes into the picture, right? So, what is basically NLP? We need to understand NLP stand for Neuro Linguistic Programming. Neuro means neurology, nervous system, how your brain functions, how your brain thinks. Linguistic language, what language you are using, your oral as well as verbal and non-verbal language, right? And programming, how your mental pattern and your behavioral pattern works actually. So in simple words, NLP is the science of how your mind, your language and your behavior work together, and how we can reprogram them for the better results. Okay, I have one question here. I want to know that how many of you are aware about that? What is neuroplasticity? What is neuroplasticity? Any idea? Do let me know in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so let me explain what is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means that our brain has 86 billion neuro, right? And these keeps changing, constantly changing from day to day, depending upon our habits, whether we have sabotaging habits, whether we have good habits. So it is basically depend on that, and our neurons can be molded like a plastic, right? Our neuroplastic means that your neurons, your brain can be rewired like a plastic. It can be molded like a plastic, right? So with the help of NLP, what we can do is we can have the effective communication, mindset rewiring, rapport building, and goal achievement, emotional mastery, and behavioral change as well. And that is absolutely for the sustainable results. So let us understand how it works basically. So this is your current reality and this is your desired reality, right? So when we talk about the current reality, when we are on the way to success, we are working on ourselves, but somewhere we have a picture of ourselves which belongs to future. And in layman language, what do we call it? Successful. When I become successful, this is your desired reality. And each and every person, no matter whatever, what you are, what is your age, everyone has its own desired reality in his mind somewhere. And what is your current reality you're facing actually? After having a lot of degree, after having education, after having a lot of work, you have been a part of the big organization. But what you are actually facing right now, that there is somewhere you have self doubt and you have limiting beliefs that I'm not good enough, I'm not enough capable of doing something. So that's where NLP comes to the picture. NLP works as a bridge to your current reality, to your desired reality. How? Because there are a lot of tools and techniques which we are exploring in this session. So let's talk about the part first. This is the awareness and the mindset shift. So before going forward, we need to understand that neuroscience of productivity, because everyone is talking about the productivity, how can be more and more productive in the workplace and your personal life as well, right? So first we need to understand that these are the part of the brain, prefrontal cortex. Prefrontal cortex is a part of your brain which is in charge of your planning or your decision making, and you can consider it as a CEO of your brain, right? And this is the amygdala hijack. What is amygdala hijack? This is the amygdala is a part of your brain which actually, your alarm system. When you are in fear, when you feel anxiety, then amygdala, hijack and gives you alarm system that you need to, cry, you need to shout, you need to behave in a certain way, right? And this is a dopamine loop. Dopamine loop is not a part, is actually chemical which actually produce when you have something very good, when you eat something good, and when let's take an example of a reward system in the organization. When we have a RNR program in the program, those who are rewarded, they have they produce actually the dopamine in their mind, because that's why there's science between recognition and reward system. Because why this matters in the organization, whenever reward and recognition done in the organization, there is a dopamine loop, and feel that particular employee to do more productive. And that's why there is a that's why dopamine loop works like that. So basically there's a the feel good chemical, right? So let us understand with the help of a detailed example. Okay, so this is your brain. You need to consider your brain as a corporate headquarter, and think of your brain as a manager, and your prefrontal cortex is your CEO sitting right at the front of the brain. So it is in charge of planning all good decision, your problem solving, I mean your impulse control, and why it works, why it matters at the workplace, because it prioritizes the task effectively instead of just reacting to every email. You need to you have the evaluate risk versus a reward before making a decision, and manage time better because you can sequence tasks logically. And what is the challenge with this part, that your brain CEO tired very easily when it is overloaded with the multitasking or distractions. So it tired very easily when you are doing something which is multitasking. And what we are facing right now is this, that employees, or any take an example of any manager who have multiple tasks the organization, so they can do better from starting in 9 to 5, 9 to 5, they do better. But after some time they tired very easily because the prefrontal cortex system is not working, and they're overloaded with the multitasking and distractions, right? And this is your amygdala part. Meet your amygdala, your brain emotional alarm system. In an office setting, it's not trigger chasing us anymore, actually. It means deadlines or angry emails or unexpected review meeting. So when amygdala senses a threat, it triggers a fight or flight mode. Means you need to fight whenever you have an amygdala hijack in your brain. So you have a emotions of whether you have to fight with someone, or you may be flight response. And what is the problem during this session? Amygdala amygdala hijack your prefrontal cortex, which is in charge of your planning, your decision making. This actually goes offline temporarily, and your brain focus on survival and efficiency instead of impact. So this is something which happens whenever you have amygdala hijack in your mind. Your your decision taking power, your planning, everything has been goes down for that particular moment. Whenever you feel anxiety, whenever you feel bad about any bad emotions you have, you need to calm for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and we need not to take any decision for that particular time. So there's a science behind this, that why we are behaving in a certain way. Okay, then finally, let's understand about the dopamine. So dopamine is a feel good transmitter, right? And everybody is aware about the word also. So at work, this means recognition and small wins can powerfully boost employee motivation at the workplace. So every time you take something off your list, close a deal, or get a well done from your boss, your brain rewards with your dopamine. The more we create positive reinforcement, the more motivated we feel to take on a bigger challenges. So this is the science behind our mindset shift, and the new this is the science behind our how we behave in a certain way during the anxiety, trauma, and depression. Okay, so let's move on the next slide. So part two is all about the tools and techniques, right? Sometimes what you hear from the employees is just the tip of the iceberg. If you are HR leader, trainer, or in any other profession, you're not just dealing with the, policies, documentation. You're actually dealing with the employees, and when we talk about employees, we are actually dealing with the different type of minds. So we need to understand that how to uncover those hidden things which we need to understand, which we need to receive from the employee in terms of the uh, discussion. So NLP gives you the tool to dig deeper, reshape perception, and create buy-in without any force. So we will explore meta model questions, anchoring technique, and reframing technique here. So this is meta model question. What is meta model? Meta model is a guided set of questions to uncover deletion, any kind of deletions, distortion, and generalization. And what is deletion, distortion, and generalization? Deletion means anything when we are talking something, but you're not specified. What you are actually talking about, like unspecified noun verbs, comparison without reference, and unspecified process. What exactly means that somebody says they don't respect me here, so there is noun is missing completely. So we need to understand that what is exactly they are talking about. Like comparison without reference, this report is better, but better in reference to what report, right? So we need to uncover this, and with what, how we can do that, there's a set of questions, the guided questions we have. So I'll discuss in detail. Unspecified process, it is difficult to succeed here. So there is no specified noun or verb they are what they're actually talking about. In distortion, there is a mind reading, like my boss thinks I am not capable of doing something. But what they are doing, they are actually just reading the mind of the boss that they must be something like that. But there is no uh, you know reference to what they are talking about. Cause and effect, deadline makes me anxious. There is no cause and effect relationship, but they make the cause and effect relationship, the deadline makes me anxious. Complex equivalence, that he did not reply to my email, so he doesn't care, right? In generalization, there is a universal quantifier, like there are some employees talking very universally that everyone here ignores me. But there is no logic behind this, that why everyone ignores you. The model operator, rules and necessities, I have to do it this way, but how to do this way, there is no rule or necessity behind this. Lost performatives, hidden judgment, it was wrong to ask for help. So let's explore in detail so that you can understand better. I have a set of certain guided questions. Uncovering hidden assumptions. So employee often use vague language like workload is too much, or this project is impossible. So what you can ask to uncover these questions, that too much compared to what, or what specifically make it impossible, right? So I think with the help of this meta model question, we can solve a lot of issues at the workplace and without forcing anyone. Okay, so let's take another example, clarifying goals and expectations. So employee might say, I want to perform better, or the team needs motivation. Okay, so what you can ask is meta model question, that what does performing better means to you, or motivation in what specific area. So there is a lot of clarity or clarifying goals and expectation, which is not which we cannot understand with the help of above statement, that I want to perform better. So we need to understand what does performing better mean to you, and the team needs motivation. Motivation in what specific area? So I think we need to understand what was the specific area which we are actually looking for. So filtration, there are a lot of filtration when we are asking these questions. Challenging limiting beliefs, common workplace belief, I can't handle clients, or this process always fails. So what question you can ask? What stops you from handling clients? So you can identify what is the exact reason behind this. And this process always fails. You can ask always, has there been even one time it worked? So there, these set of questions are under help you to understand what employee is actually talking about. They are like improving communication, how we can help it out, improving communication and reducing conflicts between the employee and the management. Employee generalize statement is management never listen or they don't value us. So what you can ask is who specifically don't listen, so that you can understand that what is the meaning and what is employees actually talking about. And they don't value us, how do you know you are not valued? So these are set of meta model question which you can identify to improving communication and reducing conflict between employee and the management. Last is boosting team productivity. So HR leader can coach manager to use meta model question in performance reviews and team meeting and coaching session, right? So let's move into the next session, next slide. So we can, anchoring technique. So anyone have idea about what is anchoring technique? Anyone have idea what is anchoring technique? Okay, no issue, no issue. So anchoring is a technique where you associate a set of your touch, your word, your gesture, or any sound with a desired mental or emotional state. Right? How it works, we will understand in detail. First of all, let's understand that how it benefit for the productivity at the workplace. So instant state shift from stress to clarity, improve decision making, removes paralysis by returning to confidence, reduce anxiety at the workplace, anchor calmness before tough conversation, boost focus and motivation, trigger productivity state on demand, team culture, shade anchor like a team mantra, boost energy, right? We will talk about that. And at the workplace, it means creating a mental shortcut to quickly enter a productive, confident, or a calm state, right? So let's see how it works. So anchoring is a process where you need to understand, you have to recall any peak performance of your life. First of all, why it is required to have an anchoring process in the workplace. Whenever you have any low phase of your life, you feel self doubted, you feel that you are not good enough, and you're not performing good in workplace or in any public place. So you need to recall, that particular moment of your life when your peak performance. You have to recall, it may be your any it may be any incidents where you are performing in front of so many people, you are giving lecture in front of so many people, you are giving any stage performance. So you have to recall that moment that was actually confident for you, and in which you were confident. At least you have to recall that moment, and after recalling that moment, you have to fire any stimulus. You have to anchor with this particular mental state, your confident mental state, and you have to anchor it with your stimulus. Any body postures, it could be this, it could be tapping your shoulder, it could be clapping, and it could be any sound, right? So after, wait, after fire your anchor, second step, you have to enter into your future contacts, and third, you have to visualize that moment and you feel confident, right? So it's a little bit complicated, it's little bit complicated, but the more you repeat this process, it will become a part of your routine. Repetition is the key actually. So you have to repeat this process. How it works? Whenever you are in self doubt, whenever you are feeling low, you have to recall the moment at your peak performance moment when you are confident, and you have to close your eyes. You have to anchor that particular mental state when you are confident to this any stimulus. It would be this, it would be tapping your shoulder, and it would be clapping, and it would be any sound. You have to anchor that particular mental state to this stimulus. And once it is done, Whenever you are in self doubt, you just have to fire your anchor and you are tapping into your confident mental state. Okay? Any doubt, any question? I want some volunteer to do this activity. Okay, so before having this, I want everyone to watch this video to understand in detail that there is a demo video that how anchoring technique works actually. Wait.
What we're going to do now is Mike and I, we're going to go over anchoring. And what anchoring is it's a state that can be triggered by a
Video is
touch,
visible?
and it can be triggered by even a look or.
Visible. Yes.
So right now we're just going to work with Mike on an emotional state that you want to change, right?
So there is a demo
Excellent. So
video
when we
how
talked
anchoring
before, you said
technique
you
works.
sometimes procrastinate, right? So you know that a project's coming up soon, and instead of doing the project and start working on it right away, what do you end up doing typically when you procrastinate?
Sometimes it's just hard to get started on like a very involved project, and I just really need something that gets me like revved up, just to get started and get moving on a project like that.
Gotcha. So then, so that procrastination would be like a negative state for you.
Yeah,
Negative
not a
emotion.
state that I like to be in.
I agree 100%. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and eliminate that procrastination, okay? And from there, we're going to work on adding a resourceful state that would get you from procrastination into action.
Okay.
So let's think of a state when you felt untouchable. Do you think you can, I know you gave me some words, you said untouchable was something that would get you off of procrastination, correct?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, perfect. And could you remember a moment when you felt amazing? And a moment where you felt euphoric?
Right, got it.
Okay, good. And you start to feel that state, I'm going to anchor it by touching your knuckle, and then I'm going to release it, okay? Okay, there's different ways of doing this, but we're going to do a collapse anchor when it comes to eliminating that procrastination, okay? So can you close your eyes and can you visualize when that procrastination happens? Are you able to come up with that emotion?
Yes.
Okay, are you there? Are you there where you see that project is coming up and you're like just procrastinating and you just don't want to do it?
I got it.
Okay, got it. So now that you know that negative state is right there, so now what we're going to do is we're going to counteract it with a positive state. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to visualize, based on what you told me, a moment in time where you were just unstoppable. I mean, you were untouchable. You could do anything and everything. Can you come up with that emotion? If you close your eyes, you see that emotion in your mind. You see it? You see it? Yeah. Great, great. Excellent. I want you to come up with a time, elicit a state where you felt absolutely amazing. Things were incredible in your life. Okay. And what I want you to do is recognize that state. You felt absolutely euphoric. Man, you're there. You are right there. Okay. Yeah. Good. 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 All right. Cool. So now at this point, I'm going to fire this anchor right here, which is the procrastination. I'm going to hold on to the procrastination, and then I'm going to fire off positive state. Connecting. You're feeling that euphoric feeling. You're feeling that amazement. You have all that confidence. Okay, great. So now when you have this project that's coming up after firing that anchor, I just feel like excellent. Go ahead and use that resource anchor anytime. So anytime you feel like your procrastination is coming up, just fire off that anchor on your own.
Yeah, just like
Press that knuckle down on your own.
awesome.
So do you have any question?
No. Yes, madam.
Yes, tell me.
Uh, seeing the video, what we understand here, this is Dr. Raghav here. So,
Okay,
is it like, it's playing around the mind, or is it just a mind game?
you can say
Or
that. We
okay, so
have to
and
work.
the
We have to actually play with our mind.
and every time the intensity of the problem might change. I mean to say the extent to which it is difficult. No, at times it will be less difficult. Sometimes little more than less, or at times it will be very difficult. So, wherein how do you actually? I understand and totally agree with you. It is a very novel process. It can work out in the workplace. So, when you have a deadline or which you cannot achieve, how do you actually apply this technique? Thank you.
Last couple of months, I have conducted a lot of session actually, and that was actually one-to-one session, and I have received a lot of cases like they want to commit suicide, and I mean they have a worst condition in their life, and you won't believe that after conducting this session, it's not particular. There's a different part of session, maybe a lot of mindful practices and mindful exercises as well. So it works actually. It works like wonder for those people who are in worst of their life. I cannot explain each and every case, but yes, I remember one case where there's a girl who got raped at the age of 16, and he's a very bad relationship with his parent as well. So I have actually guided her that how to get back their parents' love and respect. And now she's actually fine. There was a worst case of my life, and I faced. But with the help of these technique and there are a lot of mindful practices technique, we can achieve everything. As you said that there are a lot of people who are in worst, condition of their life. But if they, first of all, you have to willingness in yourself that you have to control and you have to get back to your life, your normal life. First of all, you have same feeling. So this techniques working like a wonder. If you is there anyone who want to volunteer? Is there anyone who want to volunteer? Yeah, Amit.
I can, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So
will.
first of all, hi Amit, you need to
Yeah.
share that what is your lowest moment of your life, like you want to reframe it in a new way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a very old event which happened many years back, but
Okay.
still I can come out of it because this happened during my post graduation time when I was going back to my native place from my residential college. So actually, I had won a few couple of trophies in my college, and we were going back to the native along with the friends. So what we did, we kept all the luggage in the cloakroom in the bus stand, and we
Okay.
went out for lunch. And after an hour or so, when we came back, I was very surprised and aghast to find out only that of all my friends, only my luggage was missing. So though I had the coupon or the token what the cloakroom person had given, he was not so educated, so he could not actually track or tell where what happened. He could not identify what is happening around. So he is just expressing his helplessness, telling I saw nobody took like that. So in another few 10 to 15 minutes, the bus is about to start, and I am not having any track of my luggage. So with a very heavy heart, and either I have to stay back there or miss my bus. This is my situation. So I cannot remember. I cannot forget that 6 hour journey of my that journey even today, even after maybe 15 years. I am unable to forget that journey. As to if I am able to remember every 10 minutes of my journey, like what all went in my mind. How will I face my family? How will I face? How will I recollect all the things, notes, books, and all those things?
Yeah,
So this is, I
that's
think, one of
actually
my very
great.
low. Thank you.
Yeah. So Amit, let's do
Yeah.
this.
Uh, I was low when in 2002 when I was
Okay.
graduated and got the second division marks, second class graduated marks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was low that time that if I could get the first division marks, 60% and more. So I was low that time.
So that was toughest time for you.
Pardon, please.
That was toughest time for you. That was the lowest moment.
That is one of the lowest moment we can say because it was a time when I was thinking of getting a job and how would I get a job with the second division marks and all that. That was coming into brain
Okay.
because that was a peak time and at the same time I was getting low marks, so future was looking a bit in a dark.
See, in this anchoring technique, what we are doing right now, that we have a negative mental state and we have a resourceful mental state, right? Suppose
Okay.
I have given a TEDx speech at the TEDx platform. So that was the peak moment of my life. Okay. So whenever I recall that moment, I'll be in confident mode, right? And when at the age of 6, I lost my father, that was the negative mental state of my life. Whenever I recall that moment, I'm feeling, lowest of myself. I feel very bad. So we need to understand that how to trigger our confident mental state into our present life, right? Suppose you are in, we are rewiring the moment actually. Suppose you are today in your negative mental state. So now you have to close your eyes. Suppose you have the, like in this example, this particular person has the problem of procrastination or any negative thing. So you have to close your eyes. You have to close your eyes and you have to recall the moment when you are in your peak performance. Your peak performance may be your any confident speech in front of thousands of people, or it may be something that is scoring something very good. You are achieving something bigger that you can't even imagine. So you have to recall that particular moment. Okay, so I'm counting 5 to 1, and you have to enter in that particular state. Five, four, three, two, one. Now you are enter into the your peak performance. Now you have to visualize, feel what you felt, and see what you saw. Right. So
Can I open eyes?
no, no, no. After recalling that moment, na, you have to with your finger, your any body gesture. It may be your finger. Okay, you have to fire your anchor as well. You have to fire your anchor. How? You have to recall that moment and you have to link it with, anchor with it, your body posture. Body posture would be this, and it would be this, and you're tapping your shoulder. Okay, and you
Yeah.
have to anchor this particular way. And whenever you require this confident mental level or state, you can use this mental state in your any lowest time. But first of all, you have to identify the moment when you are in your peak performance,
Yes.
right?
But
Hope it
yeah,
works. Yeah.
it works. It works, ma'am. It,
Okay.
it,
You feel
it
good?
does. Yeah, feeling good.
Okay. Thank you, Amit.
Welcome, ma'am.
Okay, let's move into the next slide.
I have two questions.
Okay.
One is about the recently one seminar or webinar, what, but physical, I think physically you have conducted to a the one-to-one about the NXT. So have you got any case study why it was so much problems was so much over there, and how many people contributed towards the improvement of it? So any case study is carried out. Second question was about the plasticity you were talking about. Uh, how many types of plasticities are identified, and what is neuronal plasticity? How we can concentrate on neuronal plasticity if it is damaged to be repaired?
The
Thank you.
neuroplasticity and how many types of neuroplasticity we will discuss after, last slide. It is always available in this last slide, so we'll talk about that. And the question which you asked, that why it is happening right now, that why there are lot of anxiety, depression, and mental trauma, because we are living in a world which is completely volatile. As we have discussed, we are living in a lot of complex issues. There are a lot of we are living in a digital age as well. There are a lot of AI disruption in the market. And when we talk about our generation is something which is they don't have any patience level, because they are living in a world which is volatile, which keeps changing. And in this fast changing world, if I ask you that what is your competitive advantage and how you can sustain in the market. So the sustain movement, everyone wants to be relatable in the market. सो ये जो रेस है, इसकी वजह से there are lot of mental issues, there are lot of anxiety, there are lot of depression at the workplace and at personal front as well. Because last couple of months I've been conducted one-to-one session, and I have the query received, they are from the actually very top management positions. Some people are from the pharmaceutical industry, some people are from the logistic industry. So I'm actually curious and amazed to see that how senior level or top management people are actually looking for person to help someone to release their anxiety or depression trauma at the workplace. So when they are facing, what about the mid level management team, and the uh, supervisory team, how they can manage their anxiety. So there's a lot of anxiety or depression and trauma because of this, because everyone wants to sustain in the market, and everyone want to upgrade their self, because we are not living in a world which is not changing. We are very we keeps changing. Everything is AI has been replaced. ChatGPT 5 is coming. There are a lot of things has been coming up. So because of this, there are a lot of depression, anxiety, and mental, you can say that the mental trauma at the workplace. So I hope I give all the answers of your questions, sir. Thank you so much for asking me. And let's talk about the reframing technique.
Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you so much for asking me such wonderful questions, sir. So, reframing technique is a powerful NLP technique, and this is also neuroscience backed tool that helps leaders, employees, and team to shift their perspective to see challenges in a new and empowering light. So, what the workplace benefit? Reduce stress, anxiety in the workplace, and boost creativity and problem solving. Build resilience among employees, and improve collaboration and positive communications. Enhance productivity by shifting focus to opportunity instead of just focusing on problem. For example, we can take example of HR leader. Instead of saying employee resist change, reframe it as a employee needs clarity and support to embrace change, because they are, because our world in which we are living right now, it fast changing digital world, and we need to understand what should be your competitive advantage to sustain in the world. So of course it's not just knowledge, because everyone can grab knowledge, everyone can gather a lot of certificates, but we have to understand that we have to shift our mindset. and we have to rewire our mind in such a way that we can sustain or when we can relatable in the market, right? Next slide is we need to understand how it boosts productivity, right? So there is one shift from problem focus to solution. So we need to be focused thinking. What is your old frame of thinking that is limiting? This deadline is impossible and I'll burn out. And how you can empower, how you can reframe it in an empowering tone, that this deadline will challenge my focus and I can prioritize smartly and deliver on time. So employees stop wasting energy on worrying, instead channel energy into the action. So how reframing technique works, that whatever challenge and whatever negative statement come in your mind, try to reframe it in an empowering tone. Like there is example of turn setbacks into learning opportunity. So what would be the old frame, that I fail at this presentation and I'm not good enough, right? And what is the new way or reframe way of this statement, that this presentation gave me feedback and next time I'll be sharper and more confident. So there are a lot of difference in this statement, but overall the meaning of both the statement are more or less are same, right? So what the what is the advantage of using this reframing technique? You can reduce fear of failure and encourage experimentation and innovation. So instead you have to shift your all challenges into the opportunity, reduce and stress and build resilience. So there is a neuroscience shows our brain amygdala, there is a stress center. We have learned that there is a amygdala is a part of the brain where we have a stress center. There is a trauma center where we feel in a where we are in a mode of flight or fight mode. That's calm down when we interpret straight positively. How? Reframe straight as a fuel. Pressure means my skills are being tested, which makes me stronger, right? And employees stay calmer, think clearer, and make better decision at the workplace. So whenever you understand that your brain's amygdala hijack, then you have to pause for a time, and you have to after that you have to reframe the entire position because your prefrontal cortex is active. How to boost productivity? So let's understand there is an increased collaboration and workplace harmony. So what is the old frame of thinking, that my colleague always criticize me, and what would be the new one? How we can reframe it? So they are detail oriented. Their feedback can actually help me improve my work. So it improves relationship and less conflict and more productivity at the workplace. Last is boost motivation and engage. How it works? Reframing links daily tasks to a bigger purpose, right? We all our daily tasks we are actually linking linked to a bigger purpose. So old frame, I'm just doing routine reports, and new frame, these reports help leadership take a smarter decision. So employee feels meaningful impact and more engaged at work. So you can use this
Ma'am, can you
technique.
take the third slide, ma'am?
Yeah,
The
third one.
point number, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Reduce stress and build resilience. Can you just retake us on this, or take us again in this, please, if you don't mind?
Yeah, this is neuroscience shows that there is whenever there is a amygdala hijack. What is amygdala hijack? Whenever you are in anxiety, stress, or trauma, then you have to calm down and you have to reinterpret the stress positively. Why I'm saying that you have to calm down for some time, because whenever there is a amygdala hijack, you cannot take any decision, you cannot take any output from that particular situation, because your prefrontal cortex, who is in actually in charge of your planning or decision making, has actually closed down for that particular moment.
Okay. So the calming down is the only solution.
Calming down is the only solution. Yes, in that particular moment, you have to calm down, take pause for some time, and then to reinterpret the stress positively.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Ma'am, the problem is that amygdala is sometimes deep rooted and it has charged with the emotions.
Right.
Now, taking back or reframing the events and getting recall from the neuronal cells again back to the amygdala system, so that the shift from the stress to the new reframing is quite difficult. And again and again, the practical problem is that we try, people try to reframe it, but again and again it comes because amygdala is deep rooted and it is charged with the emotions. So new things uh, taking into new frame and concept is sometimes become difficult.
Yeah, you're right. That sometimes it is very difficult. That's why, why we are recommending that you have to pause down. You have to pause yourself that particular moment when there is a amygdala hijack, because there's something which is not in your control. You are emotionally, this situation or this particular moment is emotionally reaction of your whatever you feel right now. So that is why I'm saying that whenever there is amygdala hijack, you have to calm down. You have to pause for some time before taking any decision, right? So what we have to understand from this particular, amygdala hijack, that we need to pause for that particular moment, and after calming down the situation, we have to reinterpret because there is no amygdala hijack in your mind. So now you can reinterpret because your prefrontal cortex is working right now. And you can reframe your stress as a fuel.
Okay.
You mean to say that taking some pause and
Yeah.
recalling 90 by 10 principles and let the waves pass through and
Yeah.
then again reframe properly, that will be the solutions.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank
And we
you.
can do that. We can do that. Any stressful situation, can be very helpful in your achieving something, right? Any challenge in your life can be very helpful in future for achieving something, because this gives you the emotional response which is unbearable for you. So you need to understand, and you always remember in your mind that this particular situation gives me that emotional trauma or mental phase of my life. So you always reconsider it as a fuel and not as a stress in your coming future,
Okay, okay.
right? So yeah, here actually reframing links daily task. Yes, our daily task matters a lot, and how we can reframe it. Suppose an employee working the organization and they're doing, I'm just doing the routine reports, and there is no way out, and there's no much required. And how you can reframe it. These reports help leadership take smaller decisions. So employee feels meaningful impact and more engaged at the workplace. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, any question? Any question from anyone? Okay. So part three is basically about the assessment. We are doing some assessment and strategy and action plan. So let me tell you one thing very clearly, that this psychometric test is not part of NLP. I have added this slide to understand, your dominant personality style. So this is basically the psychometric test, and this has been used in multiple organizations to understand that what type of personality you are. So basically, this psychometric test has, bifurcated four type of personalities. D stand for dominance. This type of personality direct result focus. I stand for influence. You are very social, energetic, and influential as well. S stand for steadiness. This is patient, supportive. And C stand for conscientiousness. This is analytical and detail oriented. Right. So there are a lot of online disc psychometric tests is available. If you want to consider, if you want to understand what your dominant personality style, I will give you the link in the chat box. and you can receive a report of that particular that you belong to which personality type, right? So before proceed, I give me a break. I think I need to share. Wait, I need to share the link of that particular. Where's the chat box? Yeah. So this is the link I have shared in the chat box. If you want, because there is some blueprint and 21 days blueprint we need to plan. So I want everyone to go this link and check out their personality style. Not now exactly, you can just